Hello everybody, welcome back. This is the video that I've done to show you how I placed the moon and the cityscape die cuts. What I've given you is, I've cut two pieces of these. You get two each. In the die cut set there is, I don't know if you can see those because of the shine. Let me just put this on here. So I've given you two of these and two of these. And what I've also given you is the masking portion. So one was cut from one end and one was cut from the other end. And that is what's going to give you these little die cuts. Now, you will have to, I didn't feel like going through 50 of these and punching out the little windows. So you're going to have to do that yourself. Punch out the little windows. And this is my masking part that I'm going to use as well. So what I did first was to get my moon shape. Now this page, I just took the tape off, so now I can actually frame this. It's kind of nice. And this is the one that I was working on, and I think it turned out pretty good. And yeah, it's dry. Yeah, just making sure. So what I've done is I've taken a bowl. I just decided how big it was going to be. I've taken a bowl and I've traced out a circle, and I've put this on the bottom of the page. And it looks pretty good. I like that there. Then I took my little die cuts here, my houses, and I've decided that I'm going to go this way across the bottom with that big tall house there. And I've cut another piece. I did a little trimming and I put another piece here. So that's not bad. I've got some distance on either side, and the moon's pretty big, which I wanted anyways. Now, in your journal, you've got 4 of these pieces. So the 8x8 journal that most of us are using, it's going to fit across minus a little portion. Not a problem to cut that off. Maybe about half. So you need 2 little pieces, and I made sure and I glued them. I cut them and glued them in the spine, in the crease of the book, so the page is going to be able to turn okay. Now with these, I didn't do much to them, but once I've gotten the placement here, I did put down the moon. This one isn't glued down yet, but I did put the moon there just for placement to see where everything was going to go. But you can see without the moon, these things are not showing up very well at all against the background, and that depends how much color you put behind. I thought afterwards it would have been nice if I had made this light blue behind, but I didn't. So what I had to do in the meantime was to use these masks. Now this is one that I've used. You can see the paint on it. So what you do, oh, I better tell you about these. This die is not easy to cut, and I have to cut so many. I use that technique of using the bounce fabric sheet, and so some of the residue is stuck to the back of these sheets. It's not a problem. It's on the back and you're not going to see it anyways. And nope, these ones don't smell anymore, but if you're sensitive, then do give them a little bit airing out before you use them. So now I'm going to place this on the bottom exactly where I want it. I'm going to put my mask exactly where I want it, and I'm going to pull out my little die cut. So now this is exactly where the die cut's going to be. I'm just going to slide this up so it's a little bit higher. I'm actually putting a glow that's going to show behind the house. Let me get this out of the way. So what I do for that is to take a little bit of that Prussian blue and a little bit of white, and I'm mixing, let me just put this here, I'm mixing a lighter color, maybe a little bit more white. You see this color here? I did put this out on the palette, but I ended up not using it this time around. So I think you're just okay with these colors if you have them. And I'm just going to take some of the paint off because I want this to be in a dry brush fashion. And I'm just going to come down dry, not wet. I'll show you what it looks like in a moment. And just like that, you can make a nice little shadow. So it's not perfect. It doesn't have to be. I can still see some of those stars, those blobs that I made with the white paint. I still see that from behind, which is pretty cool. And I'm just going to continue along the way. And then you take that off, you put your house back on, and have a look and see how that works. Now that's cool, but it's not ideal because it's lined up perfectly. So now what I want you to do is do that again, but this time I want you to offset it. Just kind of line it up the way you were and just offset it. So I'm going to go, I think, slightly to the left. And I'm going to do that again. My brush should still be dry. I'm not using a lot of water. I've dried off my brush, but I need some more bright. This isn't bright enough for me right now. There we go. So it's just tickling in some color. Oh, that looks better. You can also, if you wanted to, add in with your brush just to fill in some little spots just in case you're missing some areas, because it's all going to be hidden. So now, just on its own, that looks like it's a cityscape right behind. Let me just get this out of the way. So if I put this here back again, that looks pretty awesome. I like that better. So that's how you can ghost your city. And I think this last corner here at the end needs just a little bit more. You can change the color if you like. You can go over it again and maybe add a little white to some of the spots and lighten them up. Where am I? I've lost my place. Here we are. So I'll add just a little bit more white. A little bit more white. And just, I'm hitting the tops of it really, not going over the whole thing. I hope you can see that okay. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's exactly what you want. Well, I think so. What do you think of that? That's pretty good. So now, when you have your moon behind it, the unfortunate part of doing this small little one is that my moon is so big, I don't have a lot of that background showing. So an option is to paint this on top of the moon as well, so you have the shadowing behind. Or you can just make your scape like that and put a moon up in the corner somewhere. You can absolutely do that, or have the moon up in the sky. So you have options. There's a lot of things. I actually quite like this, so I don't know if maybe I'll make this moon smaller and put it up there, or maybe offset it off here. That would be kind of awesome. And then I can continue across and have this great detail going across that way. And then all you need to do, so if you're doing it with the moon, you want to glue your moon down and then figure out where your little houses, your cityscape is going to be. Punch out the holes, do your ghosting. You want to make sure that all these little tips and everything is glued down solid, especially in the art journal, because you know when you have loose little bits that poke up, that's when you tend to rip and tear those things after when you're looking through your book. And people like to touch, it's very tactile, so you want to make sure that those are glued down nice and solid. And the only finishing touch I did after that was just to draw with a gel pen along the left side of all the buildings, and I just quickly outlined where all the windows and the doors were, just as an added touch. And that is about it. Thanks very much for visiting my YouTube channel. I did start this just so I could give you some ideas on how to do this journal page, and I hope we can do some more videos. And thank you again for all your support for coming to my classes. It's unfortunate that some had to be suspended, or we'll rebook them later, and I hope to see you in the crop room soon. So stay safe, stay sane, and we'll see you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.